Hi everyone, we just wrapped up the weekly call, Hexagram 15, the wild woman archetype. And I can really feel her acceptance. I can feel her natural rhythm. I can feel her in nature. I can feel her being an expression of the Schumann resonance. And I can feel the unconditional love that she has that is embracing everything. So when we look at her from the I Ching perspective, she's made up of the two elements of earth and of mountain. And in the gene keys, we have earth. Two trigrams of earth are making up the feminine archetype, the second gene key, and two trigrams of mountain is making up the 52nd gene key, that's stillness. So it's very much going inward. It's very yin in its expression. And there was something on the call today really about accepting the lows and the highs and accepting the underworld as well as the celestial frequencies, and in a way everything between. And for me it's so important, especially with those calls where we are speaking about embodiment, that we don't go out to just look at the highest frequency and just look at the beauty and just look at the fluorescence and the acidic frequencies. Because for me, if there is any archetype that really can see the beauty and have the embrace of both the underworld and all the rest, I believe it's the 15. And I also feel that there's something when with this archetype, when we say, oh, you can choose, like acceptance is a choice, beauty is a choice, pleasure is a choice. It's something beyond that with this archetype. It's the acceptance of the world as it is. There is pleasure, there is pain, there is acceptance. And more than saying it's a choice, I believe almost that this archetype would say it's an attitude. You can have the attitude of acceptance, you know, but there is something beyond that. Like it's not really like a human being chooses it per se, it's what I feel. And the choice of it is probably more dependent on the frequency you're in. Because if you are not in your heart, if you have still not sat with your wound, if you're still not broken through so that you have your purpose, your embodiment, there, how can you even choose acceptance? I don't believe that we can. So we can have the attitude and we can work on ourselves, and we can start to pull that veil between life's work and evolution, the conscious side and the unconscious side of our radiance and our purpose. And in the meantime, it's about attitude. And that attitude is going to take us to a different place in the beginning of our journey, when we're really oscillating between the shadow and the gift. And then the more we open, the more we're able to look beyond that veil, the more we're radiating through the sun and the earth on the unconscious side, the more stable maybe we're going to be on that pathway of the gift frequency, that heart that is open and that dares to be open, even as it has to face life with the pain and the pleasure and all the things that are there. And I believe that the knowingness of the city is something that really helps us with walking on that path. But the city, it's more like a knowingness of the city than anything else. So having experience of it is very helpful, and understanding what our own unique flavor of the city is. I had a conversation and an experience yesterday of my own way of feeling the city. And from a lot of silent meditation, the way that I had experienced it before is this kind of laughter, inside laughter, a real sense of joy. And it always comes like in a how do you say that in English? Like it always comes through colors of a rainbow. It's not a veil, but it's like this kind of, the air feels like it's rainbowy. And it's a feeling like that everything is exactly the way that is right, and that there's nothing to worry about. And like I said, I've had it many times when I've really created, I guess, the circumstances for it. But the wild woman says you don't need to sit for 16 days in silence. Like there's nothing you need to do in order to tame the city of fluorescence or any other city. It's something that's natural, and it's something when you dare to go beyond, you know, the I am, or beyond the all this, you know, the form, you know, going beyond all this, everything that hurts, everything that makes you happy, everything, you know, beyond all this, that's the acidic frequency. It's the frequency beyond duality, right? Where there's nothing and there's everything. And I believe that we can go there, and we can have a sense and a taste of it, and the knowingness of it as we are evolving is what keeps us more and more stable and more open-hearted on the pathway of the gift, and not so much in the oscillation between the shadow and the gift, which is always going to be there. And yeah, there is something in my experience yesterday that really showed me that the way that you are going to live your shadow, and probably the imprint also of your oscillation of your back and forth with the shadow, has a lot to do with the radiance and the purpose. It's almost like the way in is the life work and the evolution, just so that your mind can feel safe enough for you to go further. The real truth in your expression of a higher frequency is in your purpose and in your radiance. Yeah. So I might come back with something more precise on that movement from the life's work and the evolution to the radiance in the city. And in the meantime, really what I feel is we can have the attitude of things, but there is something arrogant, and the 31 is my attraction, the 31-6. There's an arrogance to say we choose everything, you know. For me to be a humble explorer of this realm, it's like the humility is also the 31. I mean, I believe that's my highest expression. And to say, as a human being, I can have an attitude of this and that, you know. I can be universal love. I can be acceptance. You know, I can become it. But can I really choose it? Because if I choose it, it's the mind still. So it's still in a way, you know, corruptible. Maybe this sounds like not so tangible, but I know that there is a seed. There's something here that's important, that has to do with being and doing, and the shift, you know, from doing to being, and that is the shift from mind to embodiment. Thank you.